Hello and welcome back to the Weird and Proud podcast. It's Sam and
James.
James. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode. We are so excited. We are now episode 7 of season 2. Like, time passes when you're having fun, right, James?
It's so weird, and I'm so proud of it.
You are? It's yeah, me too. I'm so weird.
Did you see what I did there?
Yeah. That was literally gorgeous. And it's March, which is also insane. How are you feeling, James?
Weird and proud, I already told you.
Jesus
How many
Christ.
times are we going to cover that?
How do you feel that it's March? Are you ready?
I like March.
Me too. I like March. It's filled with hope. And finally, the seasonal depression. I feel like I've just been in hibernation. And I feel like all my seasonal depression girlies are finally like, hallelujah. The sun is out past, I think it was 5:45.
You said the sun's, and it's up earlier too.
Yep,
like
up earlier.
6:20-ish, I think it was.
When do we spring forward? That's coming up soon, though.
Didn't that get canceled?
Did
Cancel
that?
culture cancel that?
Oh my God.
I don't know if it's still happening this year.
Did
Remember, didn't they? I
know. Did they officially?
This is something we should really know
breaking
for this
news?
podcast.
Yeah, look that up, James. Is that still happening?
Let's go. Let's check
like
it out.
is this where we stay forever in this time zone? Talk about a time warp, you know? Time space continuum. Yeah, that is so funny. Yeah, I think it was canceled. It's too woke. But we have an exciting March. While James looks that up.
It looks like for much of the United States, daylight savings times is set to start again at 2 a.m. on March 12th.
Mother God.
So literally next weekend.
God fuckers. Sorry, that was aggressive.
Did you say God fucker? Oh, that's not going to get an uproar. Nope,
again,
that one's
as a reminder, this is not for children. So that's coming right up. And that's going to be here. And it springs forward. So we don't lose any sleep, which is always a good thing. I do love that. Right? No, we do lose sleep.
I'm going to let you work through this one on your own. I'm going to let you work through this one.
I can't remember. How does time work? I literally can't. I don't get it. Time to me is just, it's a construct. I don't believe in time.
Good contextual use of construct.
I know.
I'm very proud of you.
I just feel like it doesn't exist. When someone asks me my age, I'm just going to say, I don't believe in time. And I don't believe.
There are a lot of theories out there about time not existing.
I know.
It's made up. It's man-made. I firmly believe. It doesn't really exist.
Yeah. No, by the way, 100,000,000%. There was one person one time. This story is starting out great. One of my friends was asking a guy at a bar, how old are you? And he just goes, I'm ageless. And that was a stunning answer. I said, wow, we are in Brooklyn. That's when you knew you were in Brooklyn, is when someone.
That's a great answer.
When you're in Brooklyn.
I am down a wormhole of the whole daylight savings time.
I know.
Right now.
I totally forgot. We got to look into that because I think we'll have one more episode before it officially turns.
Well,
because it's next Sunday.
Yeah.
Oh my God, we'll do a deep dive. Okay, we'll have to look into that. We'll do our research. Anyways, not to go off on a total tangent, but we do have an exciting March. Other than the fact that daylight savings time still exists, we are going to Florida.
We are
the land of my people. Florida. James just looked at me.
Florida become the land of your people.
The land of my people. Because Florida Florida is my leader.
True.
He is my president.
You were on stage with that.
Yeah.
You should probably do a repost of that.
Yeah. If you haven't seen me getting on stage with Florida, it's a spiritual experience. I traveled space and time. That's when I knew time didn't exist. When I was shaking that thing. When I was up there shaking that thing. It was very magical. I will reshare that if you haven't seen it. It's gorgeous. But no, I'm obviously kidding. I do love Florida, mostly because my dad loves Florida. It's his favorite place to vacation. And that was where we vacationed every year. We went to Florida as kids. That was our vacation. and New York City. But we're going to Florida because my dad, he is turning 65, and we are going to, well, we fly into Tampa, but we're technically staying on St. Pete Beach. Well, St. Pete area. We're not on the beach. But we are going with the fam, with my family for my dad's birthday. So send all your St. Pete recs, because we'll mostly be in St. Pete, which I think is kind of the beachy area, really good restaurants. And it's gonna like kind of be spring break that week.
Some stuff, because I still have no idea where we're going.
Yeah, you've never been.
No, I just know we're going to Florida.
Wait, have we ever been to Florida together?
Yes, Key West.
Key West. We went to Key West on a cruise. Oh my God, do you remember that? That was wild. That was like one of our first vacations together. We went on a cruise.
It was. Didn't we just do a longer Key West weekend, or did we stay in Key West longer?
No. We were there for a day.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, the cruise went in. And James, by the way, we went on a cruise ship. I had won a trip for work for a cruise ship. And we went, I think we did like the Bahamas and then Key West. It was kind of a short, it was like 4-day, something like that. Yep. And this was the first trip that we had taken together as like a vacation.
I think it was, yeah.
And James locked us out on the balcony.
Now, hold on. I recall differently of how we got locked out.
Okay. How do you remember? Because we were smoking the rifa? Or we were smoking something. Not crack. But it was either like a cigar or the rifa.
I was definitely smoking cigars.
Yeah, we definitely had cigars. Oh yeah, we definitely went to Mexico because that's how we got the rifa.
We got to went to Mexico. I know that.
Yeah, because I remember. Oh my God! And this
when
was
we got locked on the balcony, that was funny.
Yeah, luckily we weren't locked out that very long because I can't remember how we got back in.
We could like jump over
the side.
Yeah,
and we had to get the attention. Thank God someone was there.
Yeah, we could jump to like the next room because the other people had a balcony. So we could like go over and knock on their door and say, "Hey, we locked ourselves out." And apparently it's a fairly common thing because I remember the housekeeper let us right in.
Yeah.
Didn't check to see if it was our room.
Yeah. Yeah. It was the housekeeper was in there. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Because I was like, how did that end up working out? There was a housekeeper in that room, the room next door, and they let us in. Oh my God, that's so funny. I remember too, because like, this was like just when we were like starting to, dating, and this was very new. And we were in Mexico. One of the stops was in Mexico.
Yep.
I forget where. I think somewhere in like, I don't know, Playa de Carmen or something, whatever. And I was like, oh, let's get some reefer. And we were like, the sketchiest way to do it possible. I was walking around being like, do you got any of that? Because they sell like little bowls everywhere. And you're like, do you have anything to put in that? And one of the guys was like, yeah, like come with me to this back alley. They're like, come here. And you like go in the back alley and they give you like this sketchy little bag, little like plastic baggie. And then we remember getting back on the cruise ship. Oh God, am I getting like arrested for this? You like they search you and you have to go through a metal detector.
Yes. And
like they search your bags, like anything that you take on, like has to go through a detector. And I was like, shit, like what am I gonna do? Do you remember what I did?
Put it in your panties.
I put it in my vagina. Well, I like, I just wrapped it up like a little babushka.
Didn't we get that from the cigar guy though? Didn't we go to the cigar shop and ask?
I don't remember. It was one of those.
I remember now. We got it from the cigar shop. We went to go find cigars, and we were just talking to them, and they're like, "Oh yeah,
I was like, yeah, you got any of the good guy?" Anyways, that was a funny story. Wow, memory unlocked. Core memory unlocked. That was a special time. That is so funny. I totally forgot about that. Yeah. And I felt like, I was like, damn. And once I got there, I was like, I'm literally like, I am fucking wild. I'm a wild girl. But anyways, I was bringing this up because, we're going to Florida, have some fun things, send us the recs. And I was actually, if you follow on the Instagram, which hopefully you do, I was doing like some, like an ask me anything, ask me something weird. And there were some good questions too that I wanted to bring up to James that I didn't get to ask him, because a lot of the questions too are like about James or related to James, and I just didn't get to ask you them on the day that I was doing it. So I figured I would ask some of those questions to James now, and some of them are kind of funny. Because one of them was asking about what our favorite city is, like, that we've ever traveled to. And how would you answer that, James? What do you think is the favorite
I have
city?
an immediate, I'm always trying to check in with recency bias.
I know.
I have a very big affinity for New Orleans, though.
I know. That's what I was really figuring you were gonna say.
And if I were to compare New Orleans, like, and I'm trying to think of places that compare, again, the first time that you go there, right?
I know.
And taking aside what's the revisiting potential of this type of city, I have to say that are we talking big cities? Do I need to go like bigger cities here?
I mean, any place we travel. What are we gonna say? Like Arkansas?
I still know. Just like going the first time. I love Boston still.
Oh,
just because. And I'm trying to think, like, that was one of our first like long weekend dates.
Yep.
Because that was my first time there. So am I crossing that over? Like, I don't want to bring in the bias of internet dating
internet
what am I thinking
show.
of? No, like a Netflix like a Bachelor, where you do the most lavish things with someone.
Oh,
I'm trying to think. Okay, so I was with the girl I love. Did that, like, if what's our favorite city? If it's me and you together, Boston is one of my favorites.
Yeah.
But then recency biased, I've been telling everyone, if you've been thinking about going to New Orleans and you haven't, pull the trigger now, because it is only going to continue to get more and more popular.
Well, I think it's already pretty popular.
I think it's less. I still run into so many people that said they haven't gone and have been thinking about it. The same place we were in. Get tickets. Just go. It's worth it.
I would say too, like, it's so popular to go for Mardi Gras or go for, like, which I do. I want to go for Mardi Gras. It's on the bucket list. Or go for Jazz
Fest would be super fun.
But you don't even have to. Like, I felt like it was amazing that we went in January, like, right over New Year's.
I loved it.
End of December.
Didn't go during that stuff.
Because it was like we had the whole place. It was like it was out of a movie. I felt like we had the whole place to ourselves, and
especially because New Year's Eve fell on that Saturday, so it was busy in New Orleans for that Saturday.
Right.
But it was, the next 2 days were so cool because it was like a ghost town.
Literally. Yeah, and I was going to say Florence is also.
Well, then, all right, worldly cities. I loved Italy.
Florence is one of our favorites. Here are some other questions that I actually was curious about too, and I tried to guess what you would answer.
Are we going to why the cities are so fun? Here's number one: food. I think the most important thing to a city for us is food, and then for me, it's the nerdy stuff, like. What's the history like? How old is it?
Yeah. What's there to do? Like, are there, I mean, I guess it depends, because Jamaica too, like, it depends on what you're in the mood for.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Because, like, in New Orleans, like, it's not like we were laying around and relaxing. Like, if you wanted like a relaxing, lay on the beach, read, hang out by the pool, you're not going to go to New Orleans.
Some of those little cities in Italy along the coast would be for that sort of thing.
Or Jamaica.
Or
Florida.
Florida. Apparently we're going to Florida.
Yeah. Okay, here are some of the other questions that I
Oh boy, let's do it.
Okay. What do you think irritates you? Well, what do you think? I mean, what does irritate you the most about me?
Nothing.
So on my Instagram stories, I said, I bet if I ask James this question, he's going to say nothing.
We were asked this question at in Jamaica during the game of the couples thing, and I said the same answer.
I know. I can't remember. Did I guess that right?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, because I knew you were going to say that.
We won that. I think we did. We win that thing?
Yeah,
we did.
I know. Yeah. But here's what I would say.
What?
What you like in deep down inside that you don't want to say. Is like when I don't shut up, or like when I shit talk.
Never. No.
You like my shit talking?
That's you.
I know.
That's you expressing yourself.
I know
what
that some
people not
like
about someone being themselves.
Exactly. It's because I talk a lot of shit. But that's also, like, that's my family thing.
You don't talk that much shit.
But sometimes I make fun of you, and
Yeah, but you're doing it to my face. You make
Well,
fun
that's
of
what I
people
say.
behind their backs. That's mean.
That's what I was saying. I was like, that is like, it's like a love thing. Like if I talk shit because I love you, but like I would never talk behind your back.
No.
Talk shit behind your back. I mean, I would talk.
I'm sure you do some. It's probably good entertaining topics amongst the girls. That's fine. I don't care.
I mean, I did talk about your socks on the internet, and I don't know if you hopefully saw
socks,
this, but
I saved the world one pair of socks and not throwing them out and having to buy new socks at a time.
James,
I'm a good person.
I can't even tell you guys. This is just another thing that like also is like such a lovely thing about you is that he's not a materialistic guy. That is one thing about James. James has had the same socks since 1942.
I've probably run 3 marathons in those socks.
That is absolutely fucking disgusting.
Yeah. Those socks have seen it.
They've disgusting.
Been
okay, I didn't know it was that bad.
They've probably been peed on. Like those socks, something. They've seen a lot.
Your heel is completely exposed.
Yeah, but it still functions.
At least you
Sock.
changed. I'm glad to see you change your socks.
Well, that's because I worked out in them.
Oh.
I put those socks on strategically when I know I'm not going to be changing socks before I go work out. They're in the dirty workout sock pile.
But then all the sweat is just getting right into your shoes, which is why your shoes smell like butthole.
They have good character.
I'm going to throw up. Okay, so I was asking you this earlier, and it's funny, like, I'll tell you my answer, but what would you say your love language is? Like the book, The 5 Love Languages.
Is food love language?
So here are...
I remember the 5. So the 5 love languages, I've read it.
Okay.
But
what would you say yours is?
Go ahead.
Time. Well, I was going to say, if you don't know, it's words of affirmation, acts of service, gifts, time, physical touch.
Probably maybe more words of affirmation. Physical touch is important. I know holding hands isn't your favorite thing, so I've come to terms with that.
Holding hands to me is the dumbest thing. Why are we holding hands? Why do we need to hold hands? I still grab her hand
when we're in titties just to do it.
I'll hold it for like 10 seconds.
She'll have to give me a little bit of time, but
after that, I'm like, I also like to use my arms. Like when I'm walking, I'm jumping and driving. I'm moving.
Slow walker.
Wow.
I'm
James, by the way,
joking.
I used to think that I walked really fast, and all my friends made fun of me because I walk super fast.
She does.
James walks so fast, he will literally leave me in the dust. If I don't say anything,
you got to keep up.
I will, like, I'll stop, and he will be like a mile ahead of me. He will completely forget that I'm there, and that's also just something I was like, wow, he eats fast. That was another thing. I always just get made fun of for eating fast, obviously.
You slow in comparison to me.
I know. I'm like, damn, I've met my match. I have met my match. My answer to this question is, why do I have to choose one? This is why I always thought that book was dumb.
I have found that most people do have something they lean towards. What's your answer for me?
What would I think that you would say? I would say quality time.
You think quality? I think quality time.
Yeah.
I like just discussing things with you.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, right.
It's when we're talking, and I talk during movies. You know why? Because I have very insightful things.
And
to
now
say.
I've learned to keep the remote next to me so I can pause the movie, because I'm like, if you're gonna, like, I need to pause. Like, I can't.
I'll ask her to pause it, and she's very good about letting me.
And now I will do that too. If I'm like, let's have a discussion, I'll pause it and I'll say, let's
You've been
talk
starting
about
more
this.
discussions. I appreciate that. No, I love that. I think the power of pausing movies and shows was like epic for me, because I've always wanted to just discuss them. I like discussing ideas.
I know. No, totally. We love our documentaries and stuff so that we can talk about it. Because it's like, I mean, maybe I'd say quality time. Or, like acts of service. I do love, whenever, like, if you take the trash out, I'm like, oh, like, jizz on my
You love
face.
acts of service. I sent you a checklist of all the things I did today.
I know. I was like, I'm literally wet. Like, you, like, take out the trash.
Guys,
like, I'm
send
sorry.
lists with little check marks next to them.
Yeah, he tells me all the things he does. He does the laundry when he cooks. I'm like, yeah, like, I love when you make a meal. Like, so I would say that. So it's hard.
For you, I do think it's acts of service.
Yeah.
It isn't And I love that it isn't necessarily gifts. You do like it when I get you flowers.
Yeah, but it's more thoughtful. Like I love when we do the funny stuff or something where it's like you're not like, here, going to Tiffany, a Tiffany's necklace. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I get you funny stuff.
Yeah, I'd rather have like something that's thoughtful or an experience, which we always love.
Which we always love experience. I like cooking. I like the acts of service. I like cooking for you. I like doing those things.
Yeah, but again, it's like, but I guess that's the purpose too. It's like, obviously everyone loves all of them, but which one do you lean towards,
It is, because you don't like the physical touch one.
No, I hate being touched. And that's my trauma. And that is on trauma. This was one that I thought was really funny too. I wanted to discuss with you. What irrational fear do you have? And also, like, what is like,
my crazy, like, inherent fear is heights.
Yes.
I get just talking about heights. And here's how irrational it is. Planes, no bother. I've been in a couple, like the little tour helicopter rides. If they lean and do the, if they're the bubble helicopters that kind of lean in, I get a little bit, but I don't really get that scared. But you put me on like the edge of a cliff, or we've talked about it on the podcast,
like top of a building,
hiking or going up those, like the Ranger towers that are, you can go up on hikes to see beautiful views. The views are beautiful. I don't like it. I took you on a hot air balloon ride. I did pretty well with that. I was
really surprised that you were able to do that.
I don't know why, and as much as I love studying psychology, I could have probably looked this up at one time, but there's different feelings and reasons for it. And especially when you can picture it or have it like something in your head. Yeah. I've gone parasailing before. I was pretty drunk for that one, so that doesn't count.
Yeah.
But I haven't done skydiving. We've talked about it. I think I could.
Yeah.
I really do. But when it's like getting near the edge of something, even being on a roof, like I would never be a good roofer in fixing stuff up there.
Yeah.
I'm iron someone.
Yeah. Yes. What do you think? What's my realistic fear? Do you know?
Snakes.
Well, yes, snakes.
You love animals, but I've seen you see a snake when we were on a hike one time, and I laughed at you a little bit. It was a tiny little garter snake.
I love all animals. I even really do not have an issue with insects. Spiders
a little big, scary looking spiders. You
more
don't like,
because I'm afraid it's gonna like poison me. It's more like the poison thing, which is unrealistic. But like, most like worms and stuff. I really don't have a problem with. But snakes, and I think why is because when I was little, same thing. It's like you have a traumatic event. Like there were in our backyard when we were growing up, we had a lot of snakes in Maine.
Yep.
And my older brother was like, it's not going to bite you. It's not, these are like super friendly, super Nikki, nice. Huh? And he was like holding it up, and I go to pet it, and I mean,
it's a tiny little garter snake.
It was a tiny, it didn't like really, I didn't have to go to the hospital.
Garter snakes will.
But it was more of like, if a lizard goes to bite you too, but it's just the shock of it. And like the fact that he lied, and then it bit me. I'm also afraid of jellyfish.
I knew. Well, that one I knew
too, because I've had a bad experience. It's always like triggered by something. And like I would have never really cared much, but then when I got stung by one,
I've never liked heights. I can't remember a time when I was getting up on a ladder and fixing stuff. Even when I like go up on the ladder to the attic, you see how careful I am.
I know. I try to hold it down.
I have to be extra cautious. Just my own psychology. I can't do it.
Yeah. And I am a little claustrophobic.
That's why I don't jump high in basketball. That might be
That might just be a white person thing.
Might be
That just might be you. But what about like irrational fears? Like I saw this thread post about like what are fears like you had when you were little? Are things that your parents told you, or things that you've just always believed? Like someone gave the example of there's always you can't swim after you eat. Like that was always a big thing. Like don't go swimming because you'll cramp up and you'll die and drown. Or like don't swallow watermelon seeds because they'll grow in your stomach and a watermelon will grow inside of you. Did you ever have like any irrational fears? Heights?
I mean, I'm trying to think. I remember growing up with the half hour not swimming.
Yeah.
And my dad was a doctor, mom a nurse, but we still followed that.
I will say, I think
like it's not irrational, but when I was a kid, I got into beehives all too often. I did not like bees because I thought every one of them was going to sting me.
Yeah,
However, you know how much I love bees now, and I'm like we're trying to grow them in the backyard.
Yeah, I got a beehive.
Yeah, we're getting bees.
Yeah, that's a good one. Bees.
I was when I was a kid. It's the triggering. Like I got beat up by beehives more than a couple times, like walking through the woods, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and like the media does a lot of that too. Because remember that movie where like the bees attack the house and like everyone, like that. After I watched that movie, like I will never forget the girl who like sat in the bathtub like under the water with the straw so that she couldn't get attacked by. Like that is burned into my mind. Like if we ever start to get attacked by bees.
Did you ever see Arachnophobia?
Isn't that spiders?
Yes.
Yeah. I never saw that, but again, like that would make me lose my mind.
John Goodman, great movie.
Or like the birds, like I feel a lot of people
Hitchcock
are terrified of birds, and that came a lot from Hitchcock. Or like, did you see a lot of the Final Destination movies?
I saw one.
Okay,
I remember seeing the first one when it came out. It was a big deal, and it was good. It was a great movie. Then there's what 17 of them.
I don't know.
That was a made up number, but that's about what it feels like.
Yeah, I think there's like 6 or 7, but that also triggered a lot of fears. Like, I don't think I was able to go into a tanning bed, which obviously, like, not that I'm going in tanning beds a lot now, but
you're a little claustrophobic.
Yeah, well, I'm claustrophobic, and there was like a scene in Final Destination where a girl goes in a tanning bed. And then, like, a stick falls and like locks her in the tanning bed.
Yeah.
And she burns to death, right? And so there's things like that I'm like, even like when I go into the steam room, I'm like, what if I get locked in here?
There's times, even though you've seen me swim plenty, when I'm in the water, there are still little Jaws moments from when I'm a kid.
Yeah.
Weirdly enough, like I've swam over a mile at a time before doing triathlons. I've snorkeled with your dad, and I never would not, right? I'll always go. But I have those little Jaws moments from being a kid.
Totally. I would agree that too. Just like
I used to go
in the ocean.
I used to go snorkeling in the lakes in Wisconsin and stuff. But and I swim all the time, and I still do because I like it better than it's not a big enough thing but that's kind of irrational.
Well, that also too, I mean, the ocean. I mean, don't even get me started. That used to be one of my favorite activities in like college. Like me and my friends would smoke tarifa, and we'd like go Google like deep sea.
I love documentaries about
deep sea fishes and like all how crazy they are. Have you ever like looked that up? Like deep ocean.
Come on, how many David Attenborough things have I seen?
Now they're so spooky. Yeah, I think that was those are most of my irrational fears. Oh, the other one I had written down too was like if I'm driving behind a truck that has like stuff hanging out the back.
Oh, you think it's gonna come?
Yeah, like that was another scene where like it was like stacks of like wood or like trees, and it's like one of those comes out and just
that's just safe driving. I do that too, but I don't have a fear of it. That's just good safe driving.
That's just safe driving. Well, James also drives like a 95-year-old, but I am getting close to that point now.
You're getting better. I'm so proud of you that you're starting to have.
It makes me feel so old. That's my other irrational fear, is that I am becoming my parents because, or becoming you.
Your parents are pretty awesome.
Yeah, sure. No, I'm kidding. Yes, I love them. They probably don't even listen to this, so whatever. Losers.
My mom does. Hi, Mom.
Oh, she does? That's so
Oh, of course.
That's pretty scary. That is spooky stuff. Just kidding. Everything on here is fine.
We're all adults.
We're all adults here. And your mom has heard worse on my Instagram.
Yeah, of course.
I can't, it doesn't get much worse than that. And we love your mom. Your mom's the best. So, anyways, I wanted to go. So now, weird moment of the week. I had James go look up, or think about what his weird moment of the week is. And I have, where'd my phone go? Okay. I found this in the nick of time because I was like, do I talk about the Murdoch murder? Because that's like all I've been thinking about like the last week with the trials going on. I'm like, I feel like everyone's talking about that right now. But what I did find that obviously is very relatable to me, and you'll know why in a second. But I saw this article from HuffPost. It says menacing wild turkeys led by their leader, Kevin, are taking over a New England city for themselves. And I said, stop everything. What the hell? So, and this is apparently 100% real, but in Woburn, I forget how you pronounce that, Woburn, Massachusetts, there's a flock of turkeys, and apparently they're all female except for their leader, Kevin. And they have been harassing members of the town and like literally attacking them. And turkeys can be psychotic.
Turkeys are big. Turkeys are tough.
And they also, much like, again, if you followed a lot of my farm adventures or when I was doing my farm adventures,
Jerry,
Kevin the emu and Jerry the turkey, like they literally, like you would have to have like a shovel in your hand, because these turkeys, not only will they peck at you, because they have like obviously like these insane beaks, but one of the things you got to be the most scared of is their claws.
Talons.
Their talons. Yeah. The talons on their claws. Their nails are so long and sharp, and they have these literally like razor blade talons on their claws on their feet, and they'll kick you. Literally, they have like some of the most powerful kicks, especially emus, but even turkeys, like they can literally, like, I don't know if they could kill you. I mean, maybe, especially like a young kid or like an elderly person, but they can really mess you up.
If there's enough turkeys, I don't know.
There's like
eventually
you're
going to get beat down.
Yeah. But apparently they have been like literally waiting outside people's homes, and they'll follow them.
Nature's taking it back. Nature's taking back the world. It's not a terrible thing.
And the women, so this is funny. So apparently the women are normally pretty mellow, but Kevin, the leader, will amp them up and like get them going to chase people.
This Kevin guy, he's kind of a hero.
I know. And like literally they're interviewing someone, and she goes, they don't let you out of their house. They lurk near our door of our home or near our car. They're up at 6 a.m. in my lawn, and they start chasing us, trying to pop the tires of our car so we can't leave.
That's phenomenal. I'm sorry. I mean, no ill will to this town, but that is really
isn't that
cool.
insane?
I mean, look, the nature thing in like, I don't know,
like turkeys are wild.
Great. I don't know how to articulate it without feeling bad for the people, but that's.
And here's what a turkey expert says. So Dave Scarpiti, a turkey expert in the state wildlife department, says that these kind of problems arise when turkeys become too habituated to humans. Normally when humans are feeding them directly or freeloading, the birds are freeloading off the other birds in the neighborhood, turkeys are kind of just acting out what they would do amongst themselves, because turkeys can like fuck each other up.
Yeah.
So, and they have been recommending the residents to carry around umbrellas so you can scare them away.
Yep.
Are not leaving home empty-handed, and like apparently, like some people have been, developed some affection for the turkeys, but that I saw that and I was like, that is the craziest. If you live in Woburn or if you're in Massachusetts, please leave us a voicemail and tell us about.
I'm sorry about turkeys. Our opinion on it. I am, but it is sorry for your town, but that is an interesting story.
I'm sure. I mean, I think they said there's only like there's like 7 or 8 of them. Like it's not like there's thousands of them. It's just like this gang that's being led by this leader, Kevin, which is hilarious because the emu that gave me shit was named Kevin, so it's just so funny that
this was also a wonderful South Park episode from a long time ago.
What?
Turkeys attacking.
Oh, was it really?
There was a literal South Park episode.
That's hilarious. Doesn't South Park like?
I love South Park.
Don't they like know everything? Or what's that show? Simpsons, or right? Predicts like everything that's happening.
South Park also has an episode called "The Simpsons Did It," and it's a South Park episode that makes fun of the Simpsons having done everything. Because South Park was like the next great. South Park was way before Family Guy. So South Park did come from the success of Simpsons on Comedy Central.
Oh.
South Park was the show that really put, outside of like stand-up comedy, South Park is really what jettisoned Comedy Central to what it is now.
Yeah.
And these guys have made hundreds of millions, and they're brilliant. They are two of the best television writers out there.
Yeah.
Trey Parker,
and they
Matt
still
Stone.
to this day. I mean, that's another.
Their
how many
Basketball
seasons do they have?
They've got to be close to that, over 20. They got to be getting in the 30 range. Simpsons is over 30, so maybe they're still a few years away from the 30. But yeah. I like their humor.
Craziness. All right, just because we've been chit-chatting away, I know you had a weird story.
Oh, and weird and proud. We're proud of the turkeys. We're proud of Kevin, right? So mine
James likes to stay on brand. Can you tell? He's a branding person.
I'm a company guy.
Yeah, he's a corporate guy. I will, just because James did look the story up, and I thought this was very interesting. James, would you like to share your weird moment?
I like to follow some Midwest stuff.
Mm-hmm.
This Instagram page is called Midwest versus Everybody. I think you guys should follow it.
Yeah.
So look up at Midwest versus Everybody. That's VS, not spelled out versus. And it's about trash talk in the Midwest. And she always talks about how nice we are. Yep. And I thought that this was a really good indicator of trash talk. You can't see it. I'm flip my phone around, and I don't know how she can edit it. Maybe she can put this in.
Yeah.
But at one of the basketball games, so Purdue University is in Indiana, and they're one of the best college basketball teams in the country. And one of the signs that they had was literally, it just said, "We have better corn." And if you read, there's all these comments on it, and it literally, like, wrong. Illinois corn is better. Iowa corn is best. Corn on the cob is not great. People talk about it like it's the best thing ever. Okay, I really don't get it. Illinois takes the cake in the corn department. Oh, does
Wisconsin have good corn?
Awesome corn. Corn Fest is usually around August, and there's a couple of really big ones. Yeah,
you guys need to find some hobbies.
It's all a little different. It's just like wine. I mean, it's all different based on the soil that you're getting. Right. Some of them are a little sweeter, and there's colder regions to grow your corn. Right? Wisconsin has a little colder. Yep. So there's all kinds of trash talk about corn back and forth, because you have
hilarious.
In the Big Ten, you have Nebraska.
Yeah, all the big Iowa. Midwest. Yeah.
You have all the major corn. The corn belt is right there.
It's corn. That was kind of gorgeous.
That was really well done.
Who does have the best corn then, James? Wisconsin.
Well, I'm going to say Wisconsin.
Yeah. Well, you know who I think has the best corn?
Maine.
Yep.
I'm going to disagree with that.
Corn. Well, I'm not even gonna. Because I was gonna say, well, the Native Americans are from Maine, and the Native Americans have the best corn. But Native Americans are from all over the U.S.
You're so good at geography.
I caught myself. Like, I was not gonna say it, and then I did say it, just so you guys know. But I do know that I'm an idiot. Okay. All right. That was so gorgeous. Thank you so much for sharing that, James.
Corn.
The Midwesterns who are listening and watching are like, wow, that James. What a gem. Way to stand up for Midwest and Wisconsin. All right. It's that time, you guys. Gird your loins. It's Weird Secrets.
Oh, this is my favorite part.
We got a couple voicemails for you. Our favorite, as a reminder, if you would like to leave us a weird secret or weird voicemail, please call. Well, not call. Please go to
SpeakPipe.
Speakpipe.com/weird-and-proud-pod. And you can leave us a voicemail up to 1 minute and 30 seconds. You can always keep it anonymous. So send it in. You know, it's like,
come on,
just
weirdos.
Do it. Come on, weirdos. Okay. All right. Are you ready for the first one, Joms?
Ready.
Okay, so a follow-up from the one girl who called in looking for her friend's mom's toys, who was fucking around and finding out. Here's a story about how I was not fucking around, trying not to find out, but I found out. I was at work one day, phone broke the day before, needed a new phone, ASAP. Friend who I worked with, coworker, her dad couldn't understand his smartphone, was selling it. Okay, I will buy it. So bought smartphone from coworker's dad, get it home, put my SIM card in, start going through the photos and everything to make sure that everything's cleared off. And the only photo on there was a photo of her mom getting pegged by her dad's big toe. Trauma response was to never look at her in the face ever again. That coworker could not look at her again.
Did she just say what I think she just said?
That was a great story. And that's why we do this. We bring this stuff to the airwaves.
That story needed to be told.
That story needed to be told.
And we had to be the ones to do it. And I'm proud that we were the ones to do it because that was a gorgeous story. Pegged by a toe. What do you say, James?
Right in the butt. Well, the wife was getting pegged by a toe.
Oh, shit. How you toes looking? Not with those socks.
I got big toes.
Not with those socks, you're not. That is absolutely wild. I don't know what I would do. I've not heard of a toe.
The guy didn't even check like the photos.
Yeah,
did he leave it on there on what if he left it on purpose? He's like, here's a little surprise for you.
Yeah,
that'd be hilarious.
Something. Yeah, here's something extra for the phone.
I worked in the hotel industry, and sometimes guests would leave their phones. And then one time one of the bellhop manager, grabbed the phones and started flipping through the photos because they were a really wealthy couple and they were like VIPs in the hotel. And he just started flipping through to like look at their phone, and there were all these sex photos they took themselves.
Oh my God. Well, that's kind of invasion of privacy.
Oh, yeah. Just give you a little nippet from the hotel world.
Oh my God. I know. That's why I don't know. Hotels. That's why
don't leave your phone anywhere.
And I put the do not disturb, on the door. I'm like, I don't even want people in here like looking at any of my shit. But thank you so much for sharing that story. That is absolutely incredible. And I hope you're okay, because that's a lot of trauma to take in.
That was great. Yeah.
But gotta try the toe pegging. All right, are you ready for the next one?
I just love her interaction with the coworker. That's so funny. She's like, she doesn't even look the person in the eye.
No, I wouldn't. I would absolutely never. How could you? How could you? All right, here we go.
So I want to backtrack to the most embarrassing moment stories. I feel like this one's probably mine. Back in the day, I was in Brazil visiting my then boyfriend, now husband, and we took a shower and things escalated, and it wasn't long after that there was a knock on the door, and we were like, crap, we're caught. But it was actually the maid, and they were telling my boyfriend that the apartment was flooded. So Brazil's like different than I thought for their showers, and it's like a walk right in or wheel right in. There's like no border or lip around the shower, and we were covering the drain, so all the water went out of the bathroom and flooded the rest of the apartment, especially the living room. And yeah, I died a little that day.
Oh my God, so you flooded? I think that's what happened. Is that what she's saying?
That's what it sounds like. She literally flooded like at least a big room in an apartment building.
Oh my God.
I wonder if there were some drips down below.
Have you ever flooded anything?
I mean, I've had to clean out the basement a few times.
Toilets have been flooded for sure in this house. But yeah, I don't know if like anything like that, like from a shower, but that is crazy. I hope you didn't have to pay for anything. That would be like what I first worry about.
Oh yeah, true.
Like hopefully they didn't charge you for that, because that would make it even worse.
Way worse.
If you had to pay, like, because that shit is expensive, like clean up with flooding. But at least like, I mean, hopefully they didn't hear you. You know what I mean? Like hopefully they didn't know why you were, why it was flooded. Like maybe they were just like, oh, they took a really long shower. Like, well, they were in there for 45 minutes. Like, goddamn. They were really dirty. But that is a wild story. I feel like the weird, embarrassing stories all come together. So anytime, if you have an embarrassing story, we will always take it.
Always.
So always feel free to share your embarrassing stories. We love an embarrassing story. Someone asked me, that was actually a question too that someone asked me. They're like, do you ever feel embarrassed? I'm like, every day. I'm like, no. I actually like really don't. Like I do, but not really. Do you feel embarrassed, James? Ever?
I mean, I think it's kind of a natural human thing. I think it's how you react to it.
Oh, I guess I just don't have that gene. Okay. Are you ready for the last weird secret?
A story that will make you feel better about mistaking your neighbor for being pregnant. I was in North Carolina for a wedding last October, And it was a fabulous wedding with these gorgeous sort of forest emerald green dresses that everyone was sort of sporting. And the officiator of ceremonies was wearing this really beautiful, shimmery, dark emerald green dress that was just a little billowy to the point where it was like, oh, they might be expecting, they kind of, looked like they had a little bit of a baby bump. So I was like, cool. And she kind of gave off mom vibes, but she was super dope, like had this really cool outfit and vibe. And we were just chatting it up, having a good time after the ceremony. And I wasn't even drinking yet. And I was just chatting with her. And I was like, wow, congratulations. How far along are you? And she looks at me and goes, no, I'm just fat. And I just backtracked and, I was mortified. And she took it with such stride and grace. And I was so impressed because I was so horrifically embarrassed. It was the worst thing ever. And yes, I'm sitting on the toilet taking a shit while I'm telling this story to you. So I hope you have a beautiful day.
Big bonus points for
Love that you're taking a
multitasking.
shit. Yeah, thank
while
you.
Pooping and doing
Yeah,
that.
that's
Next time we
gorgeous.
want to get a grunt or something in there, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. But hopefully you're not straining too hard. But hopefully you're also washing that butthole using your bidet. Yeah, these stories will never there's just there's no good way that it can end.
The person that she did this to was obviously a official, right? I don't know if it was a formal pastor or what, if there's religious base. Again, you can get ordained online, right? Yeah. So who knows? But obviously that this person has forgiveness in their heart, right? But if they are a person of the cloth, she could have put a spell on her too. Don't they do that?
Person of the cloth?
Did she put a spell on her? Did they do that? No.
What are you saying? What does that mean?
You don't know what person of the cloth means?
No.
Like a pastor or a reverend.
Oh, interesting. I don't know. That's some Wisconsin shit that you're talking about. Yeah, I mean, yeah, they obviously, maybe have also heard that, unfortunately sometimes.
Sounds like, yeah, maybe from experience.
Yeah, like I've known a friend that used to get it, because it's also just like kind of how your body is. Like some people like when you gain weight, it goes straight to your stomach, and the rest of your body, for me, like it goes to my arms, I feel like my arms get big, like so I don't know. It was,
for women, it's very different. Guys, we go right to the belly first.
Yeah,
and then we kind of expand from there.
Yeah.
But women do it.
Yeah,
it's very genetic
spots
for women,
and it can differ. So
you know what her biggest mistake was in all this?
What?
Why hadn't she started drinking yet? It's a wedding. You got to start earlier.
What was the? Well, I guess the ordained person wasn't drinking, obviously.
Probably not.
Like that's another way to tell. I'll be like, here, take this drink.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And then if they drink it, then you're like, oh, okay, don't bring up.
Well, also they could have been a minister. Maybe they didn't want to drink before.
Oh, true. Or they could be like me. That's the other thing, like
Sacramento wine.
I guess
you can test them with that.
Yeah, exactly. Blood of Christ. Drink the blood of Christ. I'm sorry that happened to you, but you know what? Listen, we all make mistakes and it happens. It really does. And unfortunately, I think, it's just a way of life. And there's not much way to get out of it. That is one that like you really can't get out of it. And the more you try to get out of it, the worse it is.
You just
gotta say, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Change topic and just get through it or walk away.
Get the hell out of there.
Irish goodbye. Just turn and go.
Yep. Just walk away. But we love those stories. Thank you so much for calling in. Thank you so much for leaving the voicemails. Again, if you want to call into us with any weird stories or embarrassing stories, you can go to speakpipe.com. I hope you can hear what he's saying when he yells that. That has just always been a thing that we've done. I don't know why we even started doing that, but it's speakpipe, one word, speakpipe.com/weirdandproudpod. You can also DM me on Instagram or email, but we really, really love the voicemails. It's just so much better hearing it from you, especially when you're taking dumps. That we can get behind and that we love to see.
Very much so.
Clean butthole health is very important. So with that, you guys, we love you so much. Also, huge favor to ask of you, if you could Subscribe if you're on, especially if you're on YouTube. Really trying to grow the YouTubes. Because apparently TikTok is going down, and there's all these rumors out there. And listen, help a sister and a brother out. Subscribe and like if you're on YouTube. Also, make sure if you're on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, you're following. If you could also give a review, give us 5 stars. That also helps out really well. I also got some statistic downloads over the weekend, and we're the number 7 comedy interview podcast in Egypt. So
I love Egypt.
Yeah. So thank you, Egypt. Thank you, my little Egyptians. I would love to come. We would love to come there one day.
Absolutely.
So we really appreciate you guys. We love you so, so much. We love doing this. We're so glad we have such an amazing group of people and community that listen and support us. And we just love you guys so much. So call us, leave us your voicemails, and have a great, amazing, weird, and proud week. We love you, weirdos.
Miss you guys.
Miss you already.